Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Espero que todos estéis bien. Hope you're all good. Disfrutando el tiempo muy bueno. Enjoying the nice weather. Well, if you're in Spain, I believe in other places it's actually raining at the moment. Rain, rain. Here it's very hot. So, and that is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at how you talk about the weather in Spanish. Now then, the tricky thing about talking about the weather in Spanish is the verb that we use with it, because in English we use the verb to be. We don't think about that, we just say it, but you'd say it is hot, or it is cold, or it is windy. Yeah, so all using the verb to be. In Spanish, we use this verb. ¿Qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? What's the weather like? Now, so literally, hace is the verb to do or make. So literally, you're actually saying, what weather does it make? Or what weather does it do? So, you know, that obviously doesn't make sense in English, but that is the literal translation. But it would translate to, what's the weather like? Okay, so if you want to say to somebody on the phone, what's the weather like over there, like the Peter Kay sketches, say, ¿Qué tiempo hace? It's just not the same quite in Spanish, probably. Okay, so some of the things we might say, what we would certainly say in Spain at the moment, hace sol. It's sunny. So yeah, in English, again, we're using the verb to be, whereas in Spanish, we're using the verb hacer. It makes sun, or it does sun. I mean, it doesn't, you can't translate it literally, but that is literally what you're saying. If you want to say it's very sunny, you say hace mucho sol. So you don't use muy, which means very, because actually what you're saying is it makes a lot of sun. Yeah, mucho is a lot of. So hace mucho sol, for it's very sunny. Okay, and remember that in Spanish we never pronounce the H. So it's hace sol. Hace, not hace. So that's one way. One thing we could say about the weather. Another thing we could say about the weather, which fortunately we don't have to say very often in Spain, though this year, 2020, this strange year that's been strange year in lots of ways, we had loads of rain, probably more than we've had for years, starting with the floods last year in September, October, and then a lot of rain earlier on this year at the start of the lockdown, but not now. I mean, one thing we know in Spain is sooner or later it is going to stop raining. So to say it's raining, we can either say está lloviendo or just llueve. Llueve is from the verb llover, which is to rain, and it's a diphthong, go changing to ue, which is why it changes to llueve. So, está lloviendo is literally it's raining, yeah? And if you want to say it's raining a lot, again, you would say está lloviendo mucho, yeah? Okay? Something we say a lot in Spain, hace calor, yeah? It's hot. And if you wanted to say it's very hot, again, you wouldn't use very, muy, you would use mucho. It makes a lot of heat. Hace mucho calor. Okay? And the opposite of being very hot, of course, hace frío. It makes a lot of cold. Or hace mucho frío, for it's very cold. And in Spain, it's cold if it's less than 18 degrees. You'll hear people saying this, hace frío, because we like really our temperature to be about 21, 22 degrees, which is the perfect temperature. So it's cold or it's very cold, hace frío or hace mucho frío. Now, for all these, if you wanted to make it into the negative and say it's not very cold, you would simply put a no in front of the hace. No hace mucho frío. Yeah, it's not very cold. The same going back to the calor. No hace mucho calor. It's not very hot. So the raining, it's not raining, you would say no está lloviendo. ¿Sabes? So very simple to make a negative in Spanish. You just put the no in front of the verb. So another thing we might say when it's a little bit of a breeze, hace fresco. Yeah, it's fresh. And if we want to say it's very fresh, this one we would use very. We wouldn't say mucho fresco. We would say hace muy fresco. It's very fresh. It's lovely that actually por la mañana, ahora en verano, in the mornings, sobre las 6, 7 de la mañana, if you're a person who gets up early, it is so the best time of the day because it's lovely and fresh. Even in August, it's normally quite nice at 6 o'clock in the morning. If you can get up at that time, that's the time I walk my dogs. It's fantastic. Okay, another way of describing the weather. Hace mucho viento, or just hace viento. Hace viento, it's windy. Hace mucho viento, it's very windy. Viento, so viento. There's always this discrepancy about how to pronounce a V, should you pronounce it as a B, etc. I personally wouldn't recommend you to pronounce it as a B. Although you will hear it pronounced as a B, it's not good Spanish. They are trying to eradicate it because that pronunciation, because then people spell things with a B as well. So it leads to a lot of spelling mistakes. So there's a lot of talk about this, in sort of educational circles. So I would say the. Hace viento. If you say viento and somebody looks at you like they don't understand you, then say viento, because that's probably just the way they say it. It's their accent. So it's one or the other. But I would start with the proper way of saying it, let's say. Okay, another way we might describe the weather. Sorry about the awful drawing of clouds. Hace nublado. Yeah, it's cloudy. And if it's very cloudy, it's hace muy nublado. You could say hace muchos nubes. It makes a lot of clouds. That's another way of saying it. But if you use nublado, hace nublado, and it's very cloudy, hace muy nublado. ¿Vale? And that might be the last one, yeah. So, ¿qué tiempo hace donde estás tú? What's the weather like where you are? And ¿qué tiempo prefieres? What weather do you prefer? Oh, another thing too that I just want to point out before I finish is tiempo, of course, has other meanings. Tiempo means weather, as we've seen. ¿Qué tiempo hace? What's the weather like? Or it can mean time, a period of time. Yeah, tiempo, cuánto tiempo, how long. And it also means tense, as in grammar. Like time in grammar, present tense, past tense, future tense, etc. If you've been studying Spanish a little while, you will know what tenses are. If you don't know what tenses are, have a look at, go back to the beginning of my videos, and I do explain to you about grammar, because unfortunately, or fortunately, because it's not that bad actually once you get used to it. When we speak in our own language, we don't think about grammar. We don't need to think about grammar. We just speak automatically. But when we learn a new language, we learn about grammar. We have to, and especially with Spanish, because in Spanish the verb is the most important thing. So it's important that we understand verbs and tenses, which are tiempos also. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you've not already subscribed and you feel inclined, if you'd like to, please press subscribe to be updated when new videos come out. All this will be in the description box, along with details of the books that I have and classes that I do, etc. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed. I'm well on the way to 340 subscribers now, which is brilliant. And gracias. So, te veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. It's me, Vicky, again. And in today's video, en el video de hoy, voy a hablar de vocabulario de la escuela. I'm going to talk about school vocabulary because, of course, it's nearly September, so a lot of you will be going back to school, or you'll have children who are going back to school. I want to say a little shout out for Olesa. If you're watching, I hope your daughter enjoys the new school that she's going to soon. So yeah, I thought I'd do a video talking about school vocabulary. Something else that I want to just say before I start, because I always forget, I want to thank everybody who has bought me a coffee, because for YouTube, I don't get paid for doing YouTube. I don't mind. I enjoy doing the YouTube. I hope people get something out of it. Although YouTube are a bit sneaky, because they have started putting adverts on my videos, but I am not a YouTube partner yet. I don't have enough watch hours. I have enough subscribers, thank you so much, but I don't have enough watch hours yet to monetize, what they call monetize, where I think they pay you a very small amount per video. But they have started putting video adverts on my videos. So anyway, I can't argue with YouTube, you know. It's like trying to argue with a big concern like that. You can't. But one way you can help me, if you don't do classes with me, well, of course you can buy the books. I mean, the books, the Break the Language Barrier Level 1, 2, 3 and 4, you can always buy to study at home. My YouTube videos are not conditional on you buying the books. Like the one today is vocabulary. I do the next one I'll be doing is idioms. So they're not all, you know, conditional. My videos, you don't need the book for my videos. Just it's a way you can help support me, I suppose, if you like, in teaching Spanish. So yeah, the YouTube videos, they take quite a lot of work to do, believe it or not. Maybe they don't look organised, but they are. And yeah, one way you can help out, apart from the free ways, so don't forget the free ways. The thumbs up really help. The subscribing really helps. The more videos you watch, you know, there's quite a lot of videos on there now, so the more watch time I get. These are all free ways you can help my channel. But there is a facility where you can buy me a coffee, which I always forget to mention. I think I probably mentioned it when I first put it on, but somebody bought me a few coffees recently. I want to say thank you to that person. I don't like to mention them because they might not want to be mentioned, but thank you so much. And yeah, and everybody who has bought me a coffee since I started doing this facility. So this is a Starbucks coffee. You know, it's a $5 coffee normally. It's down in the link. You go in and you buy me a coffee, and it just helps support the channel. I'm also really considering a Patreon part of this channel, where maybe I do some, a Patreon is a channel that you do pay towards a little bit, maybe, I don't know, €3-4 a month. And then to be a Patreon, in other words, a special member of my channel, I was thinking, well, obviously, you know, I want to offer something special for people to come into the Patreon channel. And an idea that I'm thinking of is maybe offering a free class every week, you know, a free group class, if you like, where people can speak to me live, ask me questions, you know, I can go through any problems or doubts they've got with any of the work. So I'm thinking about it. Let me know what you think. If it's something you think you would be interested in for, I don't know, $3-4 a month, one session a week where we could have like a live chat, if you like, about Spanish and about problems and English. No, probably be better I did a separate one for the questions on English, or maybe not, because maybe it's a chance where you might find a Spanish speaker who's trying to learn English, because, you know, I have a lot of watchers of my videos that are Spanish speakers learning English. And, you know, maybe that's a way that people could do some sort of intercambio, you know, an interchange of languages. So I'm going to put my thinking cap on about that. Please let me know any thoughts you have, any ideas you have. I'm always open to ideas. But let's get back to today's video. So we're looking at the vocabulary of the school, because as I say, you may be going back to school, your children may be going back to school. So it's handy to learn some vocabulary specifically based around school and education. Okay, so numero uno is actual school itself, which is la escuela. So la escuela could be any kind of school. It could be my kind of school, you know, like just an academy. It could be a junior school, high school, etc. It's not a specific type of school, it's just school in general. And just the same as we do in English, then there are different types of school, which we're going to look at next. So school in general is la escuela, any kind of school. Now, if we're talking specifically about junior school, then we would say el colegio. El colegio is junior school. So this is where your children will go from, I think it's 5 to 11. Just the same in the UK, I believe, or probably most countries. But in Spain, it's el colegio, or you will hear it called for short, cole. El cole. So el colegio or cole is junior school. Then the dreaded time arrives when they have to go to the high school, which is when I personally think it all goes wrong. High school, which is el instituto. I think that's an appropriate name, especially in Spain. It just my personal experiences of el instituto with my son weren't really positive ones. Let me know how you've got on with your children at instituto, or maybe you're at the instituto yourself. I don't really like the education system in Spain after colegio. Colegio is brilliant, but high school, el instituto, not so sure. But anyway, that's what it's called. Then once you get to school, you will go in the classroom, of course. I've got two words here for classroom. We've got, and it's quite ironic really, because la clase is feminine, but it ends in E, la clase, and el aula, which ends in A, is actually masculine. So that's it's quite strange, isn't it? But anyway, as you know, masculine, feminine, they don't really have any rhyme or reason. Some things do, but there's a lot that don't. So we can't stress over the reasons why something's masculine or feminine. There probably is no reason. So the classroom is either la clase or el aula. Then the teacher will write on the whiteboard, which is la pizarra blanca. Yeah, if you want to say blackboard, I think you just say pizarra. You could say pizarra negra, but I don't know if you really would say that. I think la pizarra is a blackboard, and la pizarra blanca is a whiteboard, which of course are more popular these days. I personally am allergic to chalk. I discovered that when I first started teaching in Torrevieja in an academy that did have a blackboard in the particular classroom I was in. And I realised I actually have got an allergy to chalk. So anyway, never use a blackboard now. We always use a whiteboard, a pizarra blanca. And you will sit at your desk. In other words, at your escritorio. So desk is el escritorio, which is the thing you write on. Well, you can see that, can't you? Escribir is to write, escritorio. And at your desk, you will sit at your chair, which is silla, la silla, feminine. Probably most of you maybe know that, even if you're beginners, that chair is silla, because it's something that comes up early on. This is something that I wanted to check, because your school bag, now, we tend to take like a little rucksack, don't we, to school, or our children do, and it's quite interesting because when they're very little, they take those little suitcases, like little flight bags on wheels, you know, and they love their little they love their little bags, and they go off all important, you know, with their little bags and it's lovely that their first days at school. And then as time goes on and they get older, they don't want one of those, because that's like what little children use. And so they want to take a normal rucksack with that. But, you know, I think they soon think, oh my God, why did I say I wanted a rucksack? Because I had a feeling about that. Why did I want a rucksack? Because actually it's really heavy, because they have to take, sorry about this. I say I'm prepared. I am really. But there was just something that came before and I meant to check it and I forgot. Yeah, they have to take these rucksacks. They have so many books, especially when they get into high school, instituto. It's like, you know, but oh no, they don't want the little bag with wheels anymore. They want to take a rucksack because they want to be all grown up. But I think as time goes on, they probably wish they would have stuck with the little bag with wheels. And that in Spanish is a mochila. It's only one L. That's what I was checking. I had it in my head that it was two L's. It's not. It's la mochila, not mochila. So it's one L, la mochila. I'm still saying it. La mochila. Yeah, and that is either the little one that they wheel around, or the one that they put on the back when they go to high school. It's funny, isn't it? Because every year it's like they're growing up more and more every year, and little things change. You know, when if your children go to school in Spain, you'll know what I mean. They start off with their little bags that they put their 11s in, and you have to sew their name on the front, and it's all really quite sweet. And then of course as time goes on and they get older, they don't want all those baby things, but the best times are, I think, when they're young. But anyway, so they will need to put in the mochila their books or their libros. Lots of books. Even the little children seem to need lots of books, and they have to carry them to school, as I was saying, which gets quite difficult as they get older and they stop using the little mochila with wheels. But also for you parents out there, especially if you've got more than one child, mucho dinero, los libros, very expensive. It's, you know, I just remember just a trauma every year to try and get the money together for the books. At least 200 euros, at least for one child. So yeah, if you've got two children, you're looking at 400 euros. 3 children, €600 just for the books. Then you've got you have to buy there's normally give you a list of all the things you have to take, which is paper and obviously pens and felt tips, etc. So it's quite expensive. September's an expensive time. Now they did do grants. I don't know if they still do. I expect they do. You mummies out there who've got young children probably know better than me. Might be interesting if you've got some knowledge of that to put that in the comments box for other mums and dads in case they're not sure what the situation is of how to apply for a grant, because it does make a big difference to families if they can get some kind of money off those expensive books. Okay, and another thing you'll need, or your child will need, or you'll need if you're coming to do Spanish classes, is a pad, or el cuaderno. El cuaderno is a pad. Something you'll notice, the pads I have for sale here are chosen carefully because they're lined, because the cuadernos that they use at school, they're the ones with the little squares. I think that's something to do with the way they expect them to write, because of course you're expected to write in a certain way at school. And I think it's to do with that and how you get the letters in the boxes, and everyone in the early stages of education in Spain is expected to write the same. And then as they get older, I think they can go more to free expression. To me, I can't stand the boxes. I like cuadernos con líneas, cuadernos with lines. And then, of course, a follow-on for that, you need paper, el papel. Hojas, as they call them, sheets of paper. You probably, when you get your list of things that you have to take to school or give your children to take to school, there'll be hojas, yeah, sheets of paper. They will, of course, need el lápiz, a pencil, at least one, if not more. And notice where the accent is. So it's not lápiz, it's lápiz. The stress is on the first syllable, lápiz. And then they might need some coloured pencils, lápices de colores. They normally need a box of those as well, lápices de colores. And probably also, número 14, a pencil sharpener, el sacapuntas. So they will more likely than not need a sacapuntas también. Of course, they will need a pen or bolígrafo in Spanish. Again, notice where the accent is on the I in the middle. Bolígrafo, not bolígrafo. And you can avoid that completely and just say bolly. That's probably, bolly is the shortened version of bolígrafo, so probably easier to say bolly. Then they will need, of course, número 16, goma, una goma. They'll need a rubber, an eraser. I put that there because that's the American version, but it is la goma en español. They will need a pair of scissors, las tijeras. So, las tijeras. At the end, I'm going to go back through the pronunciation of everything, and maybe you can repeat back the words. And if they need glue, that would be la cola. 2 words we've got here, la cola, or which also means Q, of course, remember. But another word that doesn't mean Q as well, so it might be the best word to remember because it hasn't got dual meaning, is el pegamento. Glue is also glue. Pegar is the verb to stick. So pegamento is glue. They will need definitely a ruler. 19 is ruler, which is la regla. That's got a dual meaning as well. I'm not going to go into it here because you might be watching this with your children. It's nothing terrible or anything. It's just something that is not for children, that's all. Okay, número 20. stapler, which is la grapadora. I really like this word because grapar is to staple and la grapadora is the thing that staples. So yeah, I quite like that word. Then all this that you've bought for them or for yourself, if it's you going back to school, college, university, wherever you're going, or just for private lessons like with us here at El Príncipe Centre, you will need to put them all in your estuche, in your pencil case. That's masculine, el estuche. Again, I like that word, estuche. And something quite a difficult word, I think, for my students, because I always say, oh, has hecho los deberes, and they always look at me a bit quizzically. I think it's because in English, homework, so you think of casa, trabajo, but in Spanish, it's los deberes. Homework is los deberes. If you've got little ones and they're going off, and if they're in Spain and they're going off to school, they'll need to take their little bag with their almuerzo. So almuerzo is a little snack that they have at 11 o'clock, and they normally encourage you to put them a yogurt in there, a piece of fruit, maybe a sandwich, something, and that's their almuerzo that they have to have every day before they go for lunch later, which is la comida, but they need a little mid-morning snack to keep their energy up. And you will take them to the gate and they will normally have to wait in la fila. So that was lovely. You watch them all queuing up in their little filas, a different one for each class. And then they go in, normally start with the little ones first, and then, so that's quite interesting. So when the first year you take them and yours is your child is they're the new ones, and they go in first in la fila, and then of course as time goes on they move along, until eventually they're the last ones going in. So the line, if you like, is la fila. And finally, for the one word we have for teacher, we have quite a few different words in Spanish. So it could be el profesor, could be la profesora, feminine, or for short they say profe, and that could be el profe or la profe. And then junior school teachers are maestros, so el maestro or la maestra. So all those different words for teacher in Spanish. Okay, let's go through them one more time just to check the pronunciation. La escuela. You repeat. La escuela. El colegio. El instituto. La clase. El aula. La pizarra blanca. El escritorio. La silla. El mochila. It'd be la, yeah. La mochila. I seem to have a total mental block with this word. I can't get it right. Strange. El libro. El cuaderno. El papel. el lápiz. Lápices de colores. El sacapuntas. El bolígrafo o boli. La goma. Las tijeras. La cola o el pegamento. La regla. La grapadora. El estuche. Los deberes. El almuerzo. La fila. And finally, el profesor, la profesora, el profe, la profe, el maestro, la maestra. So, quite a lot there. If you want to say, I think probably the easiest one is professor, or profe. Let's stick with profe. I'm all in favour of using the easiest option. Okay, so that's it. So that's the vocabulario de la escuela. Hope all goes well with whether it's you returning to school or going, as I say, to learn Spanish in a private school like this one, or going back to high school, or your children going back. Good luck, because school is difficult. I think all school is difficult. I personally, I like studying, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, that's it. So, muchas gracias por mirar. So yeah, please, if you want to, I don't want to feel like putting you under pressure to do these things. If you want to, if you found the video useful, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. That's a free way you can help me. If you haven't subscribed so far and you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe. Again, another free way you can help out my channel. If you feel inclined, please buy me a Starbucks coffee. I mean, it's not Starbucks. I'm saying that because it's $5 is quite a lot for a coffee, especially if you live in Spain. It's only about €1, €1.50, something like that. But yeah, if you feel inclined to buy me a coffee, thank you so much. Everything is appreciated. Any support that I get from my channel, and I just really hope that it helps you to learn Spanish. That is really what it is about. There was something else. Oh yeah, let me know what you think about the Patreon channel, with maybe an hour a week where people can come on and ask questions. But you know, I can do a live video where people can ask questions, etc. I can answer any language questions they have. It's something that's sort of knocking around in my head, and I just need to get it organised, really. Yeah, Don't forget, if you want to learn Spanish at home, you can buy the Break the Language Barrier books. If you want to know your level, you can ask me, or there is a video actually on this channel telling you how to get the best out of the books and using my channel. But it's easier just to drop me a comment and I will point you in the right direction. So, aquí estamos, casi en septiembre. Here we are, nearly in September. Que tu Dios vaya contigo y te veo muy pronto en el próximo video. Muchísimas gracias. Hasta luego. Hola, hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. It's me, Vicky, again in today's video. En el video de hoy vamos a mirar vocabulario. We're going to look at vocabulary in Spanish of the house, vocabulario de la casa. Okay, so vamos a aprender algunas palabras y pronunciar. We're going to learn some words and how to pronounce them. Okay, and these we're going to start with the bedroom. Vamos a empezar con el dormitorio. So, bedroom is el dormitorio. Acuérdate, remember that in Spanish, nouns are masculine or feminine. So, dormitorio is masculine, el dormitorio for bedroom. And in the bedroom, we find, en el dormitorio, encontramos the bed, which is la cama. La cama. We also find, también encontramos the bedside table, la mesita de noche. So literally, it's the little table of the night, la mesita de noche, the bedside table. Possibly also, if we're a student especially, we find the desk, el escritorio, el escritorio. Also in the bedroom, también en el dormitorio tenemos, we have the wardrobe, which is el armario. And armario actually can be cupboard or wardrobe. So it can be either. If you're talking about a cupboard or a wardrobe, it's still armario. Also in the bedroom, también en el dormitorio, well, en invierno, en verano, en España no encontramos eso. So in the summer we don't find this, not if we live in Spain anyway. But in the winter we find the duvet, which is el edredón. Otra cosa that we find, another thing that we find in the bedroom but not in the summer, is the blanket, la manta, la manta. And otra cosa que encontramos, another thing that we find, is la sábana, the sheet. Also, we find the mattress, which I think is spelled wrong on here. Mattress is el colchón. Colchón. Then, también encontramos, also we find, no me gusta esta palabra. I personally don't like this word. It's difficult to say, which is for pillow. And I think the problem is the H in the middle of the word, which is silent. So it's almohada, almohada. So no pronunciamos la H. We never pronounce the H in Spanish. So pillow is la almohada. Okay, ahora vamos al salón. Now we're going to the living room. So the living room in Spanish is el salón. El salón. And en el salón encontramos, in the living room we find el sillón, yeah, or la butaca. Both of these are armchair. One is masculine, el sillón, and feminine, la butaca. So you can use either of those for armchair. También encontramos the bookcase, which is la estantería. La estantería. También en el salón encontramos, also in the living room we find, la silla. Yeah, a chair. So sillón is an armchair or butaca, and silla is more like a dining room chair. También en el salón encontramos el reloj de pared, which is the clock. So reloj can also be a watch, but reloj de pared literally means the clock on the wall or the watch on the wall, and reloj de muñeca, or I think they just got a reloj, probably is more a watch, and reloj de pared a clock, but really they use them interchangeably. So también en el sillón, en el salón, encontramos the sideboard, which is el aparador. El aparador. También en el salón encontramos el sofá. I love this word because it's nice and easy for once. El sofá is a couch or a sofa, so nice and easy to remember. El sofá. También en el salón encontramos, also in the salon we find la mesa, the table. La mesa, nice easy one. También encontramos the fireplace, which is la chimenea. La chimenea, the fireplace. Okay, ahora vamos al baño. Now we're going to the bathroom. Que es el baño, or el cuarto de baño, sometimes the room of the bath. But they shorten it to el baño. En el baño encontramos el espejo, the mirror, el espejo. También en el baño encontramos la papelera, papelera, the waste paper basket. So that's feminine, la papelera. También en el baño encontramos the bath, or bath, if you're from Manchester, so it's a bath or a bath. La bañera is the bath. También en el, el baño, también en el baño encontramos, we find, el lavabo, the sink, el lavabo, lavabo. También en el baño encontramos the shower, la ducha. También en el baño encontramos el grifo, the tap, el grifo. So remember, an I is an E in Spanish. So it's not grifo, it's grifo. También en el baño encontramos la báscula, the scales. Or maybe we don't want to look at them. La báscula. También en el baño encontramos el bidet. The bidet, which of course in Spain is more or less uniform in all bathrooms, you'll have a bidet. I know in Britain we don't tend to use one, but I think when you get used to it, you can use it for so many things, not just sort of what it's designed for. So personally, I wouldn't like to be without one. Now they're great. El bidet. So también en el baño encontramos the toilet, which is el inodoro. So not when you say, oh, I'm going to the toilet, you go, voy al aseo. That's more the room where the toilet's in. But this is the actual toilet itself, el inodoro. También en el baño encontramos the bath mat, which is la alfombrilla del baño. So alfombrilla is more or less a little mat. Alfombrilla del baño, the bath mat. Okay, ahora vamos a la cocina. We're going to the kitchen now. La cocina. It's very important not to say la cocina. That's another word altogether, and it's not a nice word. So there's no H in there. It's cocina, or you could say cocina, pero nunca, never, ever say cocina. So the kitchen, la cocina. En la cocina encontramos the fridge, which in Spanish could be el frigorífico or la nevera, either of those. También en la cocina encontramos el horno, the oven, el horno. Again, we don't pronounce the H, so it's horno. También en la cocina, also in the kitchen, we find the washing machine sometimes, la lavadora, so it's literally the washer, the thing that washes, la lavadora. Y también en la cocina encontramos, also in the kitchen we find the plates, los platos, nice easy word, los platos. But a plato is also a dish in the sense of, oh, that's my favourite dish. So we can use plato for that as well. So it's a plate or a dish. I've just realised I think I've spelled this wrong. Since I started teaching Spanish, my spelling in Spanish and English, I always forget which, so anyway, sorry. So we also find the fork, which is tenedor. I had it as tenador, but it's not, it's tenedor. So T-E-N-E-D-O-R, tenedor, for fork. Also, también en la cocina tenemos the knife, which is el cuchillo. El cuchillo. And also también en la cocina tenemos la cuchara. Oh no, it's only one R, is it? Oh, again, I can't remember. Cuchara, the spoon, I think it's two R's. La cuchara. See, sorry. Honestly, my spelling's terrible. I used to be really good at spelling. La cuchara, the spoon. Okay, so I'm just going to go through them more quickly now. Just read out the Spanish for you to practice the pronunciation. ¿Vale? So, el dormitorio, la cama, la mesita de noche, el escritorio, el armario, el edredón, la manta, la sábana, el colchón, la almohada, el salón, el sillón, la butaca, la estantería, la silla, el reloj de pared, el aparador, el sofá, la mesa, la chimenea, el baño, el espejo, la papelera, la bañera, el lavabo, la ducha, el grifo, la báscula, el bidet, el inodoro, la alfombrilla del baño, la cocina, el frigorífico, el horno, la lavadora, los platos, el tenedor, el cuchillo, la cuchara. It's very similar to cucaracha, that one, isn't it? Cucaracha is a cockroach. Blech. Anyway, not cucaracha, la cuchara. Muy bien. Okay, so es bueno practicar vocabulario además de gramática. You know, it's important to learn our vocabulary as well as grammar. I'm going to do quite a few vocabulary videos, I think, now, because we're, as far as the Spanish learning is concerned, I've gone through most of the grammar, really, that you will need to speak Spanish to be understood. So we're going to do a lot of practicing, vocabulary, questions and answers, and of course, as always, anything that you particularly might want to have explained in a video, please let me know. So, gracias por mirar. Thank you for watching. If you feel like it, please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for all the people who have subscribed. It's absolutely free, totalmente gratis, no hay que pagar nada. You don't pay anything to subscribe. So, muchas gracias otra vez, and os veo en el próximo video. Que tengáis muy buen día. Gracias. Adiós. Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. It's me, Vicky, again. In today's video, we're going to talk about parts of the body, las partes del cuerpo en español. So vamos a aprenderlos y pronunciarlos. Okay, so we're going to start. Oh, and you'll have the pleasure of seeing my fantastic drawings again. Sorry about that, but anyway. So, el ojo. So that is the eye. El ojo. And plural, los ojos. Because normally, hopefully, we're fortunate enough to have two eyes and not just one. So it's normally used in plural. Los ojos is the eyes. If you're talking about what colour eyes you have, then you use the verb tener. Tengo ojos verdes. Yeah, I have green eyes. Or tengo ojos azules. I have blue eyes, etc. One thing that I want to say as I go along with the parts of the body is in Spanish, they're not usually personalized. Now, what do I mean by that? So, for example, in English, we will say, my leg hurts, or my arm hurts, or my arms are cold, or my nose is cold. We use the personal pronoun my, or his, or her, or your. Is your nose cold? You know, those sort of things. In Spanish, they don't use that. Generally, they will say, is the nose cold? So, tienes la nariz fría? You know, or Tengo los brazos fríos. I have cold arms. Those sort of things. So it's important to remember that. It's not incorrect to say mi brazo or mi pierna, but it's more normal for a Spanish speaker to not say it like that. Say the arm or the legs or the head or the hair. So just so you know. Okay, that's why I've put the articles with each thing, even though in English we don't use the articles so much. The article being the. Okay, so la mano or las manos, the hand or hands. Now this is an interesting one because it ends in O, but it is actually feminine. Who knows why? You know, this masculine and feminine, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, and who knows. So la mano, yeah, feminine, la mano or las manos. So again, like if they're saying wash your hands, they will say wash the hands. Lávate las manos, not lávate tus manos. Okay, I did warn you about the drawings. So the foot, el pie. Now this is one where in English we actually have a different word for the plural. We say the feet. We don't say the foots, the feet. Whereas in Spanish it is el pie or los pies. And I do like this word because of course it looks like pie, but you just have to remember to pronounce the vowel. So it's pie. El pie, los pies. Because of course the pronunciation makes all the difference, doesn't it? This is probably my worst drawing out of this lot. So, el brazo or los brazos, the arm or the arms. So it's a th if you're in Spain, el brazo. But remember in South America, if you learn South American Spanish, it's brazo or brazos. And in some parts of Spain as well, particularly in my area nearby the Murcia region, they rarely use the th. They use a s instead. So either one is correct. It's just a matter of accent. El brazo or el brazo, and los brazos or los brazos. Brazos. Vale, ya está. Another terrible drawing, but la pierna is the leg and las piernas, the legs. Again, important to pronounce, you know, all these vowels. Pierna. So, la pierna, las piernas. Okay, we've got two on this one. Two in one terrible drawing. We've got la cabeza, which is head. Yeah, so head is la cabeza. And then el pelo, the hair. Which is masculine. So head is feminine, hair is masculine. Again, who knows why? Sometimes you think, oh yeah, I can see why that is feminine, but most of the time, you know, it's quite interesting really, because I suppose that's come from the Latin, which again will have just developed over years. So who knows where it all first came from? La boca, yeah, another feminine word, the mouth. So la boca. Another feminine word for a part of the body on the face. La nariz. So again, we've got the th or s, depending on which part of the world you're speaking Spanish in. So la nariz or la nariz, and that is the nose. Now, this is an interesting one because in English we really only have one word for ear, and if we're going inside the ear, it's completely different, isn't it? It's the eardrum, I suppose. But in Spanish, you might hear both of these. La oreja. La oreja is the outside ear, this bit. And el oído is the inside, so perhaps it's more eardrum rather than just ear. But two words, la oreja, feminine, and el oído, masculine. For the outside of the ear, oreja, inside of the ear, oído. And as I was saying on the other video where I'm doing it like to learn English, you can tell it's summer. That's obviously why I decided to draw someone in a bikini. But so the stomach, which is el estómago. So you can see the resemblance there between stomach and estómago, but it's masculine, el estómago. There's an accent on the O, the first O, so that tells us where to stress the word, el estómago. Okay, so this word is the same for a man's chest or a woman's chest. It's just a chest. El pecho, a chest. Not the same word for a chest as in chest of drawers or any kind of chest. There's quite a few different words for those. So el pecho is only a chest, a physical. I'm trying to think. Pechuga. Don't use it for chicken. It's pechuga. Like for chicken and things like that, for as in breast of chicken and stuff like that. So el pecho, the chest, and it's masculine whether it's a man's chest or a woman's chest. The arms seem to be the most difficult things to draw, I think. El codo, for the elbow. Yeah, el codo. So you know, if you ever have to say that word, you never know. I remember years ago my son broke his elbow at boxing, so we used that word quite a lot. Okay, and then the knee, la rodilla. There's a few different ways you can pronounce the double L. What you mustn't do is pronounce it like a normal L. So la rodilla, no, definitely not. But you could say la rodilla, just like a Y. You can do an LY, la rodilla, or you can do a J, la rodilla. That's more of a South American pronunciation, but all those are okay. The only one that would be wrong would be to pronounce it like a normal L and just say la rodilla. That's a definite no. But rodilla, 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 those three are okay. So really you have to pick how you feel more comfortable. So I personally like the Y sound. I always think of a double L as a Y, and I find that the easiest. Paella, rodilla, sello, any word. And if I think of it as a Y, I seem to, it just seems better. But occasionally I've noticed, because I do speak often to South American people, quite often I get the J as well, paella. And I quite like that, actually. I think it's prettier sound. But anyway, I'm rambling on as usual. Oh, and another double L for the ankle, el tobillo. So el tobillo, el tobillo, or el tobillo, but not el tobillo. Okay, so that's your ankle. And the back, as I said in my other video, I'm not sure why it seems to look like Tina Turner from the back, but I'm not sure how that happened. But la espalda is the back, and the bottom is el culo. So not the same word for the bottom of a drawer or the bottom of the sea. It's completely different, those words. So el culo is only your physical bottom. And a more sort of still polite but perhaps familiar word is culete. So we use bottom, which is a bit more polite than bum, I suppose, but bum's not really that impolite. It's just you would only probably use that with people you knew well, and that would be culete. But culo is the very polite way, the bottom, but not the bottom of the sea. Okay, and the last one, we're looking at the neck, which another double L. So it's amazing actually how many of these words that describe the body contain a double L. There's been quite a lot, hasn't there? So el cuello, or el cuello, or el cuello, but not el cuello. Okay. Okay, I hope you found that useful for learning and practicing the parts of the body. One thing I wanted to say is when you talk about like how in English we say my head hurts. Now, as I said earlier, in Spanish we don't personalize. We don't say me duele mi cabeza. We say me duele la cabeza. And to hurt, if you like, in Spanish we use this doler verb, but we say it hurts me. It works like gustar. Instead of saying it hurts, you have to say it hurts me. So me duele la cabeza. Yeah, my head, it hurts me, or the head, it hurts me. Me duelen las piernas, because they're plural. So if you say my legs, they hurt me. So just a little afterthought, maybe one day I'll do a bit of a video on medical things, which are always handy if hopefully nothing does go wrong if you're in Spain, but just in case. Okay, thank you for watching. Gracias por mirar. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's really handy for me to know which videos people have enjoyed, so I know that I'm doing content that people are finding useful. And please subscribe, because that also helps me know that people are enjoying the videos too. So, te veo en el próximo video. Gracias. Okay, so that's it for this video. Eso es todo para este video. Thank you for being here with me to learn English or Spanish. I appreciate it. So gracias por estar aquí conmigo para aprender inglés o español. Te lo agradezco mucho. Why not stay a little while with me and keep me company? Watch a few more videos to learn Spanish or English. If you feel like it, of course. Quédate conmigo un rato para aprender inglés o español. Para darme compañía. Si te apetece, claro. And finally, as always, finalmente, como siempre, que tu Dios vaya contigo. May your God go with you. And I will see you real soon in the next video. Y te veo muy pronto en el próximo video. Gracias. Thank you. Adiós.